Yo, what's up, guys? Coach Mo here, and it is Word Wednesday once again. And this week, I want to pick up where we left off. Last week, where we were in Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 7. We talked about how when you find yourself in times of worry and anxiety, that you bring your requests to God. You by prayer and supplication, make your requests known to Him, and let the peace of God that surpasses comprehension guard your hearts and minds. Keep you from overreacting or reacting in ways that are going to be not God honoring. This week I want to pick up right there at verse 8 and verse 9, and we're going to finish out there because I want to talk about this thing that I'm always talking to my cheerleaders about. But here's what it says. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. The things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." I love that because this is something that I'm constantly talking to my cheerleaders about. Even my children. I'm trying myself to get myself into a pattern of thinking that's going to be more positive and less negative. I always talk to them. I'm like, guys, think positive. Look for the positive. And I get people rolling their eyes and stuff like that, and I understand why. The reason is because there's this idea of thinking realistic. Let me tell you where that idea of thinking realistic comes from. It comes from life, and it comes from us as adults having lived through life and maybe not achieving or accomplishing goals and dreams. And think to ourselves, well, that's not going to happen for me, or this didn't happen for me, so I don't want my kids to get their hopes up, and I don't want my children to find themselves disappointed because they didn't achieve that which they wanted to achieve. And I understand that, and I think that way, and I've actually thought that way a lot. And this whole recent development, of being renewed in my thinking, so that I can go beyond those things in the past that weren't there, and stop hindering my own children and my own athletes from thinking positively and pursuing their goals, not afraid of failure. These are some of the things that have led into this idea of thinking rationally or realistically. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm never going to be able to accomplish this. I'm never going to be able to do that. I'm struggling with this. I hear it all the time when it comes to like tumbling mental blocks or flying or even a struggling routine going into a competition. Yeah, let's think realistically about this one, guys. The chances are we're not going to win, or the chances are we're not going to score well or perform well. In our gym, we talk a lot about our scores. We want our scores to go up every single competition. Irrelevant is the placement. We obviously compete in hopes to place well, but what we're more concerned about is being better each and every competition. And a lot of times we go into competition thinking we're not going to achieve these goals based on how our performance was at practice, or you know what I mean, or injuries here, injuries there. And like I said earlier, I hear it a lot when it comes to tumbling. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be able to accomplish that. I'm not going to be able to ever do it, so I don't even know why I'm trying anymore. Right? Those negative thoughts. And listen, I'm not dogging those negative thoughts in the sense that, hey, shame on you for having him. What I'm trying to tell you is I understand where they're coming from. It's easy. Look all around you. It's not going to take long to find something negative, right? There's negativity all over the world. In fact, I'm telling you right now, I'm guilty of being cynical. I'm guilty of, oh man, can you believe what this person said? Or looking at the television and looking at the news, especially now during these times of debates and things like that for presidency. We tend to talk negatively about the candidates that we don't like and this and that. And the press is always bringing out the negatives and the bad things that are going on in the world. And it's hard to live a life that is constantly being fed negative, 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 negative. And it's so unfortunate because even in school, it's hard to escape it, right? I totally get it. I was there. I was a teenager once. I was in school. And now, as an adult, I understand that sometimes I can find myself thinking negatively or speaking negatively, right? Because it's hard to get past those past circumstances. But let me tell you right here what verse 8 and 9 says. Remember, it says, we just read it, it says, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, dwell on these things. I love that word dwell. Another good translation for that word dwell is think. Or like another one, man, I love one of the definitions of that word is put into your account, right? So what it's talking about, what that word means is it means like to yourself. put into your account. It's think on these things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do think about this. Do put these things into your account. So I love it because it kind of gives the idea of constantly filling up your account with good and positive and holy and righteous things. So, like, when it comes down to living your life and facing different circumstances, you find yourself having an account full of positivity instead of an account of negativity. So, on the other end of that, it's don't fill your account with negative. Don't fill your account with bad things, right? Don't fill your account with things that are going to bring you down. Continue to fill your account with things that are going to enlighten you, encourage you, bring you closer to God and not closer to the world, right? That's exactly what it's talking about here. Paul is talking about, guys, take all of these good things and fill your account with them. Take these things and constantly, every day, it's not a, hey, take $100, put it in your account, and there it is. No, you've got to constantly be replenishing and refilling and putting more and more and more into your account in order to continue to be able to process normally in life, right? If I'm going to have to go to and from work, I got to make sure that I've got money in my account to be able to pay for my gas and my insurance and things like that. That's why we have jobs. And it's the same thing here. If you're going to continue to live life and try to live a life that's positive, then you've got to continue to fill yourself. You know, Jesus said that the eyes are the windows of the soul, and if the things that are in the eyes are good, if the eyes are clear, then things are good. You know, I'm obviously not quoting from memory the scripture, but that's the basic idea. And one of the things that I've recently understood about that, or one of the things that I think it might mean, right, is the things that you're putting in your eyes, the things that you're taking in, are going to affect what's inside your soul, right? The things that you're continuously putting and feeding yourself are the things that you're going to bring out as the person you're going to become, right? Thinking and taking in negativity is going to produce an output of negativity in your life. So Paul says, focus on these things. I love where it says dwell. It's the idea of dwelling, but I think a good translation is think, or to collect these things and put them into your account. I love that. And that's like gets me so excited to think about. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm trying to tell you guys, constantly be putting in positivity, because the truth is the world, man, is going to keep throwing all this negative stuff at you. It's going to start trying to deposit negative things into your account without you even asking. It's like it's going to hack your account and it's going to give you counterfeit money instead of real money. You think what you're taking in is rational, realistic thinking, but the truth is what you're taking in is negativity that's going to do away with your positivity. So take in the positivity, right? Take in the positivity, and that will take away all the negatives. Try to stay away from the negatives. And I hate to say it, but if that's a person, maybe you're constantly hanging out with someone who's bringing you down, who's trying to steal your joy or take away the negativity, maybe you got to get rid of that person, take a break from that person, refill your life, refill your bank, so that when you re-encounter that person, you can start feeding their banks some positivity, right? And then it says in verse 9 where it talks about all the things that you've heard me teach, all the things that are the teachings and of Christ and the attitude of Jesus, all the things that you've heard me teach, all the things that you've seen me do, practice these things. Again, that's not a practice it once, or okay, I see this, I've learned it, I've committed it to memory, that's it, I've got it. No. It's a constant, every single day practice. I say this to my cheerleaders all the time. What does practice make? Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. What you are continuously practicing, that is what you're going to compete. That is what you're going to do. When it comes to practicing cheerleading, if you practice something, that's just what's permanently going to happen. So if you practice bad technique, you're going to compete bad technique. If you practice good technique, then you're going to compete good technique. And likewise here, if you practice positive stuff, if you practice God honoring actions, and you put into practice the things that you're learning, you take in the positivity and you practice that positivity outwardly, those are the things that are going to stick. When you've seen these things, I try, and I'm totally imperfect at this. I'm really not good at this, to be honest with you. I'm still practicing. I'm still learning. I've not received it, or I've not achieved it. I've not arrived where I want to be or where I hope to be, and I pray that God will bring me. But I'm practicing and trying to implement and show you and show my kids and show my family and show those around me what it looks like to think positively, even in light of negative circumstances. It's not about trying to find the good in circumstances. It's recognize that there is good in circumstances and focus on them instead of the negative. Fill your bank with the positive. Don't fill your bank with the negative. And that's what I'm here to tell you. What I'm here to tell you is think positive. Don't think negative. Fill your life with positivity. Stop filling your life with negativity. Stay away from those things, but continuously to fill that bank, continuously to do and practice the positive and good things that are God honoring. And then you will notice and feel and experience the miracles and the presence and the power of God who is with you. He says there, he says, and the God of peace will be with you. The God of peace. Peace is something that we long for and we all hope to have. And this is the peace that when you bring your request to God, He will guard your heart and mind with. A peace that you can't understand why you have in difficult situations. The God of peace will be with you. And that's my prayer for you, is that you will continue to fill your bank with positivity. Stay away from the negativity. Practice the good things. And my prayer is that the God of peace will be with you so that you can achieve and have all that God has for you. Love you guys. That's Word Wednesday.